What is going on? We are back. We are black in this bitch. This Diggins, what's up? What's going on? Hey, shout out to everybody's happening. That's at the Core Plantation right now. You already know what it is. You know I already hit you with it. Did Jesus come back today? Damn. That's out of line. That's out of line. Man, you've been doing all that hubba shando and all this bullshit. Shout out to everybody at the Core Plantation right now, making it do what it do. You shit don't listen to me when you're at the Core Plantation. It only makes sense. Hey, shout out to everybody that's handling business, making a way out of no way, as they would say. Trying to rub 2 pennies together to make 3 pennies. Trying to take that $600 and flip it into $1,200, because $600 can't really do shit. You can't pay. How you gonna pay bills with $600? Only thing you do with $600 is pay the pre-existing bills you already got. You can't pay nothing off. Hey, shout out to everybody that's understanding what it is and what it's about, knowing that in this system of racism and white supremacy, if you're not trying to establish a system of justice, you are just jogging in place, running in place. You're on the hamster wheel as we speak. Shout out to all the motherfuckers that's out there finessing. There's plenty of niggas that's out there finessing, trying to figure out which way is up. So shout out to y'all. Hey. Shout out to all my bitches out there right now that's trying to sell that pussy, yo. Wayfair, that's just what I need. Offer up. Amazon.com. Bitch, you get 2.5 stars, bitch. Let's see. Shout out to all the people that's borrowing money at the Core Plantation as we speak. You know those niggas that be like, hey man, what's happening today? Oh shit, man, you had a good weekend? Oh shit, man, I had a great weekend. What you do, man? Shit, I had a couple drinks and shit. You know what I'm saying? Chilled and shit. Okay, cool. What you do? Nothing, man. I was broke and shit. But shit, since we was talking about it, man. Hey man, you think I can get a couple dollars from you? God damn. Guilty, nigga. No, don't fuck with those niggas at all. So shout out to them begging ass niggas that's always got some type of crazy way of begging a nigga for some money. And shout out to everybody that is understanding that within this system of racism and white supremacy, if you do not have the capable mind of looking past all the goddamn bullshit that's buried way beneath all the surface imagery bullshit, man, you gotta wake up. Hey, shout out to everybody again that's at the Core Plantation. Shout out to Wendy, I see you. Tasha, Shawnee, Nuke, all the people that are awakening as we speak. As I would always say, I'm like Nearly Fuller Jr. I'm still learning. Shout out to all the niggas at the Core Plantation, all the melanated brothers and sisters that have come up under some restraint and know how to respond and I react. Hey man, I'm not perfect. Sometimes I react at the job too. I had a reaction the other day and I had to say, all right, man, Warren, you're doing too much. And not because I'm frustrated about the job, because I don't care about the motherfucking, all the glitz and the glam. I come from the school of Dr. Dennis Kimrow and the wealth choice. Hey, poor people talk about rims, clothes, and shoes. Middle class people talk about titles and degrees. Hey. And wealthy people talk about bank accounts. Now, which one do you want to be a part of? Some niggas just want to be middle class. As long as they got a little title and a little degree, then they good. I'm fucking title and a degree. You can have that. Hey. Because let me tell you, those titles and degrees don't mean shit to me, and they can't pay your bills at the end of the day. You want to have generational wealth that can continue to grow no matter what. Hey. Shout out to everybody that's out there ordering some pussy, some mail order bride shit. And shout out to everybody that is understanding what this knowledge is about and using it for good, unplugging other individuals and showing them that racism and white supremacy, if you're not trying to establish a system of justice, then you have not done your job as a whole. And I don't know what the fuck you plan on doing. Hey. Shout out to everybody that is understanding exactly how the social game rules work and what you need to do to make things better for you. Hey. And shout out to all my bitches out there that's slinging that pussy on. Let me get yeah. So, to the next suck ass nigga. Hey. We got a lot of shit to discuss. Hey. gonna get into it. Because let me tell you something, man. I'm often thinking as I'm reading, right now I'm reading The Destruction of a Black Civilization. And right now, hey, I am reading about the Masi people. They were one of the greatest horse breeders in Africa. And they were like one of the last African states or nations to not be colonized. They didn't play that shit. And how they used mulattoes to go in there to seek and destroy. So we have to learn from that. And that's what I'm learning every day. That's why I say I'm still learning. Hey. Are you gonna keep learning? Are you just figuring since you done read a book that you know? Because I don't know shit. I claim to know nothing. That's why this podcast is No, I Don't Know. Remember that. It'll never change. You already know what it is. Study every day. Understand what's going on. And I'm glad that everyone is doing a lot. Everyone is doing well, alive, understanding what it is. Go outside to get you some of that vitamin D, real vitamin D. Not from no cow, because milk does not do a body good unless it's titty milk from your mama. Remember that. Hey, we about to get into it. Turn this shit down. Man. The question today is, what we gonna get into, is this America? Is this America, ladies and gentlemen? Is this godforsaken place that everybody wants to take pride in? Is this the America that black folks signed up for? It's so funny how black folks, when we do our peaceful protests, black police officers as well as white take pride and take stock in inventory and stomping a mud hole into black folk when they're protesting and throwing tear gas and flash bombs and all this other shit. But when it's a white protest or white riot that has been incited, and not just by Donald Trump, so stop it. You have black police officers running because they are afraid of what's going on. But you're not afraid of us. That's because those white folk have real power. And that's why didn't nobody really do anything to them. And now they are patiently going after some of these white supremacists or suspected white supremacists. My question to you is, and I'm going to say the same thing on Thursday, is this any different than what goes on at your corporate plantation? You could keep and hold your peace, be quiet, say nothing, and the minute you say something that may not be in the right manner, but if you do say something, and it could be correct, may not be the way they want you to say, oh, you can't say it that way, but you can watch motherfuckers come to work and do black tar heroin in the bathroom and nothing happened to them. They could be sweating when it's 20 degrees outside and nobody question anything of what they got going on, but let you come in there black as a motherfucker sweating when it's 20 degrees below zero. They're gonna be like, why the fuck are you sweating? Get this nigga a drug test ASAP. And then they'll be like, hey Tyrone, we just wanted to talk to you. You've been sweating an awful lot, and we just wanted to understand what is going on with you, Jerome. That bullshit. So I always want everyone to understand you have to keep learning. You gotta read these books. You have to read and understand, have some type of understanding of what's going on. Because at the corporate plantation, look around, you look left and look right. Let me tell you something. There's few and far between that are the color of your skin that really are on the same page as you. Because the majority of them are coons, Sambos, telling about the gunline boss, Hayward Shepherds, and Stephen from Django's. That any chance they get, they will gut you like a fish so they can get some of those Hansel and Gretel crumbs that the dominant white society gives you. And that's how they separate and divide us. As I'm reading in the Destruction of a Black Civilization, it talks about how the mulatto class, they were able to basically play both sides. And they would play sides with the dark-skinned Africans and play sides with the white Europeans because they were a blend of both. So they were able to play both sides to get in there to sow discord for the dominant white society so they can get whatever the crumbs that they wanted to get from them. And what you're watching right now is white people show you that, yes, we have privilege, and no, we're not giving it up, and no, we don't give a fuck about no niggas. We will take that $600 check that y'all giving out. We will incite and start a riot. We will storm the Capitol, tear up shit, fuck Nancy Pelosi. We will put our foot on her desk, go through government files, and we know even if we get charges pressed against us, we'll just have millions of donors that are a part of the system of racism and white supremacy, put money on our government files, and we know even if we get charges pressed against us, We'll just have millions of donors that are a part of the system of racism and white supremacy, put money on our books, and raise enough money so we can get the fuck out of there. But these are just the things that, in my honest opinion, that I think we're not aware of and we don't have an understanding. So what happens is we go to the church and we pray to Cesare Borgia. We don't pray to Dirty Bookman. We pray to Cesare Borgia, thinking that that's going to get power. And then we asking their God, how come they got more power over us? Trust me, I question myself that all the time. Like, I need to make sure what God I'm praying to. You have to remove the image of the white man's God, as Dirty Bookman says, because their God asked them to commit crimes against us. That clearly, we can't have the same God. And we have to understand how they tell our history. That's why when you look at the U.S. Capitol, those white folks are arrogant and they're going to do it. They know ain't nothing going to happen because it's their system. We, and when I mean we, I mean melanated folk, need to stop looking at LeBron James and looking at Kevin Durant, all these athletes, looking at all these black celebrities and think that they're going to speak up about establishing a system of justice. Why would they do that? What does that have to do with anything? That doesn't have anything to do with them. Let me tell you something. The day that they stand up and talk about establishing a system of justice, that's the day that they've had enough money that they save for themselves and they're not worried about any crumbs or any cookies or any food or resources being taken away from them. When you expect them to speak up for you, then that's like you expecting for black folk at the Core Plantation to speak up for you. 9 times out, you expect them to speak up for you like you expecting for black folk at the Core. I don't know why niggas is acting like that's not the course. Niggas get mad at Michael Jordan because he don't say nothing. I never really got mad at Jordan. The reason why is because I'm like, well, what if his parents didn't raise him to be like that? What if his parents raised him to do for yourself and fuck everybody else? I would say that's 98% of black folk. They have been socialized to do for self and no one else. That's why it's the team separate. It's individuality first. And that is not going to change. I don't understand why people think it's going to change. It's never going to change. Not one bit. That's why you can keep working extra hard. I was having this conversation with one of my melanated sisters. We had a very, very, very good conversation. And in the conversation, we often talked about reading and schooling and what you use schooling for and understanding that you have to work 10 times harder than the average person at the job because you're already looked at as a stereotype when you walk in the building. You're already stereotyped as, oh, lazy nigga. Just typical lazy nigga. So since you're already looked at as a stereotype when you walk in the building, you're already stereotyped as, oh, lazy nigga. Just typical lazy nigga. So since you've already been deemed and looked at that way, there's only certain things you can do to, in my personal opinion, change the perception. But are you going to change the perception? No, you're not. No matter how hard you work, this is what we talked about. No matter how hard you work, how much you want rings around everyone, they're never going to change that perception in their mind of what they've been socialized. That's never going to change. So what you have to do is you have to work hard, establish a distance between you and every other racial group, so now they can't say anything to you. That's what it's about. Going in there, as this man told me a long time ago, Warren, take the money and run. So get the money and get the fuck on. Don't try to get the money and do what everybody else do and buy what everybody else buy and think you can say what everybody. Get the money and get the fuck on. Whatever you'll say. Matter of fact, I'm going to take my own advice. Because like I said, sometimes you have reactions because you get so frustrated. You see, the thing about it is, black folks, we have to become great thespians and be great actors. You have to go on the Core Plantation and act like, because that's what they are. Like I'll keep saying this. If you're happy to be at a corporate plantation and you are black in white America, then something is wrong with you. You should be mad as hell, as Dr. Claude Anderson teaches. Why would you not be mad as hell when your people built this country for free? Without black labor, you get no white wealth, and then white people have somehow, some way managed to build this country for free. Without black labor, you get remodel the whole, I would say, template of what you're supposed to meet on the hierarchy of needs. So they've remodeled it as if you haven't built anything, and you got to go in there and follow behind them and work extra hard and bust your ass, work extra hard. So then when you retire, you can die, because that's all that's going to happen anyway. You ain't going to live no good life. You can maintain it. And y'all need to understand this. When you're looking at black police officers, and you're looking at white police officers, you need to look at the blue line. And that's why most black police officers, they're in a very awkward position, because they really can't say anything about justice when it comes to black folk. And let me tell you why. The reason why they can't really say anything to black folk about justice and speak up on justice, because they're holding up the blue wall, the blue line, the blue code of silence. So they can't say anything anyway. So stop expecting them to say anything. You'll say something. You get in a position where you can say something, and you could do something that's deemed necessary about your people. And like I said before, it's about you getting with your people and having a better discussion about what you need to do. And the reason why I said that, because I was reading this thing about this brother, this black police officer, Capitol police officer, that was being chased by Caucasians. Which, where's your rest of your blue line? Well, I thought blue lives matter. See, white folk be talking that blue lives matter shit when it comes to white officers. When it comes to black officers, you are expendable, which means you are replaceable. We can get rid of you and get another white person in here, because it is all about white supremacy at the end of the day. And they dominate 9 areas of activity: labor, law, religion, sex, war, education, entertainment, counter war. What else do they dominate? They dominate, I already said law, labor, education, sex, war, counter war, religion, politics. I think that's 9. And if you know that they dominate these things, then why are we surprised that these white folk are getting arrested, but you don't really hear about them? They're not facing federal charges. They're planning on doing it again. That's like white folk doing a walkout at the court plantation. Ain't nothing gonna happen to them. They're gonna go on the news. They're gonna speak their demands, and then guess what's gonna happen? Then those white folk at the court plantation gonna give them what they want to pacify them. And y'all niggas is fired. Let me see if I can play some footage of this police officer running. Let's see. It might not play. Huh. Let's see. I don't think it's playing. Hold on. Let's see. Because they was chasing this motherfucker. They was chasing that motherfucker. Let me see if I can find it. Because these motherfuckers was... And then there was I guess the Capitol Police that got killed. And they want to lower the flag for that motherfucker. My thing is, but why is the FBI acting like they didn't know they was going to do that? So y'all didn't know that they was going to do that? Let's see if it'll play. Because it might not play. If it doesn't, it's all good, but... Here we go. Because it might not play. If it doesn't, it's all good, but... Here we go. And they are chasing him right now. Hold on. That is them yelling at the police officer as they was chasing him and shit. This is one of the audio that I'm playing. And y'all hear all that screaming and yelling?
The Senate is made up of marble, so you could hear echoes of loud chanting, and I can hear people yelling. So I assumed that something was going on that I should check out, and that's when I walked into that confrontation. They were screaming that, we need justice, and if we don't stop this, we're not going to get justice. One of them had a megaphone. He was, yelling things to the megaphone. I was worried that I would get taxed.
You see that? And then this police officer is... See, this is what I don't like about black police officers. Now, he's trying to reason with these white folk, but then when niggas get out there, y'all so quick to draw down and put a nigga in handcuffs, right? Like and show out in front of your white master and show out in front of your white boss. But then these white folk is talking crazy to this black police officer, and he's afraid. And he's running up and down the stairs. Then they have this, I don't know if he's Asian or white guy, kind of narrating the situation.
To be honest with you, it was just me and him, and he didn't seem to have the situation under control. And that was where, I've seen footage of protesters attacking reporters.
And this police officer is walking back. Uh-huh. And he's afraid, and he's walking back. Did y'all hear what they saying? This is our America. But that's what happens. That's why y'all need to understand that they're saying how they really feel. Motherfuckers don't get it. When they be like, this is our country, they mean basically white folk country. This ain't black folk country, but then black folk want to be like, you disrespecting the flag. You know what I mean? Niggas I heard talk about Colin Kaepernick was disrespecting the flag. Like I told you, I ain't gonna mention no motherfucking name, but especially these soldiers that's like, yeah, that's disrespecting the flag and all that. And I get it, because that's the way you've been socialized. But just think this way. You're in their army to kill for them on whatever orders they give you. You don't even know why you killing people. You don't even know why you're fighting. And let me tell you something. Sometimes you can be like that when you're dealing with everyday people. People often know how to ignite a fire in you to have you feeling some type of way. But it's our job to know how to respond and not react. And that's the thing. Is this America? What is America to y'all? This is what America is to me. Slavery, black labor, white wealth. Black people at the bottom, every other racial group using us as a doormat, a welcome mat, and a punching bag, and taking pride and pleasure in that. America is wanting Donald Trump out the White House because he's an equal opportunity racist versus wanting an anti-black racist in the White House, a Joe Biden, who just particularly cares about every other racial group but black folk, and pretended like they were leaking that footage when really that wasn't a leak. That's really how he really felt. And don't think any different. And it's so funny how everybody keeps saying that Donald Trump incited the riot and he could tell them to stop. And it's like, do you not know that these people, in my honest opinion, have minds of their own? And why do you think that they're under the sole control of a Donald Trump, as if nobody else has their own mind of their own? Let me see if I can play this footage of somebody saying, Donald Trump could have stopped it, and this is his fault, and all this other stuff. And it's just a lies podcast. I just want people to keep hearing it, because it's like y'all deflecting from what the real issues are. The real issues are this. Y'all act like Donald Trump been in office for 10 years. Donald Trump just won the presidency 4 years ago. So don't think that it's all of a sudden that this racist shit just started.
The president incited a domestic terrorist attack on the U.S. Capitol. 5 people have died, including Capitol Hill police officer Brian Sicknick. Does domestic terrorist attack on the U.S. Capitol? 5 people have died, including Capitol Hill police officer Brian Sicknick. Does President Trump have blood on his hands?
There's no question in my mind that he was responsible for inciting this riotous mob. This was an insurrection, and they stormed the Capitol and threatened to kill the vice president and put the lives of people in danger. And he had a huge part, a huge role.
So if I allegedly went on TV and I had about 5,000 black people with me, and I said, we're going to storm the Capitol and we're going to kill the vice president. Let's just say that's what I said. Do you know how quick I would be in federal custody? You know how quick all 5,000 of those black people will be rounded up and put in jail all over the United States of America and separated? But white folk, this is just showing you this is America. Is this America? Yes, this is America. I don't know why everybody trying to act like racism just started 4 years ago. This is 450 years of fucking anti-black racism. So I don't understand why everybody acting like if this shit just started. Like racism is some shit that just started right now. No, it didn't just start right now. Y'all know what it is. Stop fronting.
Playing that.
I think and a lot of people out there don't necessarily understand just how close this was to a a mass casualty event with members of Congress and the vice president slaughtered. How worried are you about what might happen over the next 10 days with President Trump remaining in office?
Well, I'm pretty worried, but we're.
They're not pretty worried at all. They all have drinks and beer with Donald Trump. This is all a farce, and this is a bullshit narrative that they running so they can create a boogeyman. But nobody is really looking at, well, why is it when we were peacefully protesting, you guys were trying to throw tear gas at us? And then when the rioting started, now we didn't riot a U.S. federal Capitol building. Motherfuckers was breaking in fucking regular fucking stores and shit. Breaking in the Cheesecake Factory and shit like that. And these motherfuckers act like they stormed the Capitol and brought the National Guard and made it this big thing and they're thugs and they're tearing up shit. But my thing is, but white folk can storm a Capitol building. And let me tell you something. Not only did they do it with ease, they had help from the Capitol Police. There were other police and other people from all over the United States of America that took pride in being there at the U.S. Capitol and rioting and assisting other people. This was law enforcement. I don't understand why they think law enforcement is not racist. How could you think that it's not racist? Stop. If you think that law enforcement is not racist or have anti-black racism going on within that department all across the United States of America, you're crazy.
Taking action. So, in the lead-in, you were talking about us sending in the National Guard. Within minutes of this attack, I called a security team together, sent in several hundred Maryland, especially trained Maryland State Police rapid response team, and I called up 500 members of the National Guard. We're having security briefings, my main focus.
So y'all having security briefings, but when we riot, shit, the police is there that night. But these niggas done broke in, climbed the walls, put their foot on Nancy Pelosi's desk, did all this bullshit, went through files and papers and all this other bullshit, showed it on video, and now y'all just now get National Guard and all this and got all this planning. Stop with the bullshit in the theater, the theatrics. It's just like the corporate plantation. When somebody says something out of line, we're going to investigate it and we'll do our investigation. And then after they do their investigation, that same person that was talking crazy and treating you fucked up is the same person that's working there. Don't believe in the system. You don't want the system to believe in you, and you don't believe in the system. You use the system for what's good for you, and you get the fuck on.
Is on trying to assist the capital city in a peaceful transition of power and keeping everybody safe. So we still have 500 members of the Guard in the city.
So how you keeping everyone safe when those Capitol Police died? And on top of that, it was a black police officer running up the goddamn stairs and shit, trying to calm people down and running away from their ass, while other police officers were assisting them and helping them walk in there and had a single file line with them protesting. Stop. Y'all know what the fuck they was doing. FBI know, Homeland Security know. Everybody knew what the fuck was going on.
We've now been joined by, I think, 5 other states and 6,000 some troops, and we've got hundreds of police officers from all of our, not only Maryland State Police, but all of our allied agencies. We're having discussions with all of the federal folks and everybody in the region about what we do. My main concern is a peaceful transition of power and what role we can play in keeping everybody safe.
Yeah, well, it's not a peaceful transition of power.
Oh, yeah, well, we know that. We know it's not a peaceful transition of power. Let me tell you something. It's not a peaceful transition of power, and this is America. And don't think that it's going to ever change, because it's not. So while y'all all out there laughing and chilling and joking and having a good time with people, let me tell you something. You better wake the fuck up, because the shit is not going to change at all. That's why these people can break in, tear up the shit, and nothing could happen, because why would anything happen? That's why they so busy giving niggas $600 thinking that shit was going to work, please. Oh, $600. What the fuck is $600 going to do? Let me tell you something. You better go look at that motherfucking stock. Y'all better go invest in yourselves and bet on you, and stop betting that these people are going to do something for you, because they not. The only thing they should be doing for us is giving us the money that they owe us for our ancestors building this country. And stop benign neglecting black people and act like we don't exist and catering to every other racial group but us. That's what they need to do. I don't give a fuck about no other racial group but black folk, and what is going to move us economically in a position where we don't have to be bother with these core plantation jobs unless they're being ran and owned by black folk. That's the problem. And we so comfortable with that. And it is very, let me tell you something, it's very bothersome when you go to these jobs and you gotta work hard. You work hard to separate yourself and get the fuck away from people. You don't work hard because you think you're gonna get a pet on the head, because you ain't gonna get shit but a hard time. That's what you're gonna get. Let me tell you something, and all you're gonna get is you working hard and getting gray hairs all over your motherfucking head while them white folk is at home chilling, not giving a fuck about black struggle, not caring. Let me tell you something, when George Floyd got killed, go to your core plantation. Did you see anybody come up to you feeling bad for you or trying to rewrite their wrongs or treat you a little differently because they know circumstances have changed? Nope, it's business as usual. So what should that tell you? If it's business as usual, that you should be able to look at somebody and understand that they don't give a fuck about your sad story. They don't care about this. They don't care about slavery. They don't care about the ancestors. Joe Biden himself said, well, why the fuck should I have to pay for what happened fucking 300 years ago or 250 years ago? No, slavery was 50 years ago. The fuck is you talking about? They act like slavery was 300 years ago. Like it was so far back, you can't never, man, stop. You better read slavery by another name. Reading is fundamental. You have to read and study if it ain't nothing but 5 minutes a day. Go read They Came Before Columbus by Dr. Ivan Van Sertima. Very good book. It talks about the Moors. It talks about the Spanish crown and how Cristobal Colon was lying to their ass and he got lost on the boat, didn't know where the fuck he was going. That's why, trust me, he didn't know where the fuck he was going. That's why they try to give you this narrative that, black folks, they can't swim and they're scared, they're afraid of water. No, white folks were afraid of water. That's where that came from, and they didn't know where the fuck to go. That's why they had to have the Moors do everything for them. Go read and do some research about the Moors. White folks, Christians, they know who the Moors are. Don't let these people fool you. Study, read as much as you can. Learn how to respond and not react. Don't let these people get you in a predicament where you are losing your mind and losing your sanity. What you have to do is get amongst people that are like-minded, that you can have great conversations with, because that's what I do. And if you can't, just compartmentalize it. And then when you get to the crib, have you a nice little drink of some mango scotto or smoke you a little joint or something and detox and get away from that. This podcast is my therapy, because I'm able to kind of get out all my frustrations of what I see. You know what I'm saying? That's why you're hearing me kind of going hard at Christianity, because Christianity does not teach you at all about systematic racism, white supremacy, and how they dominate 9 areas of activity that you have to involve yourself in and how to navigate through the system. Most people, they want the blue pill smoothie. They just want to go to bed. Matter of fact, they want to wake up a little bit, but then they be like, hey, give me another pill to make me go to sleep, because I don't want to see that much. So remember that, man. I appreciate everybody listening, subscribing, understand what this is, understand what life is about. Life is not about just flossing and hanging out and chilling and showing everybody everything you fucking got. Sometimes it's just about you, chilling at the house, being with your loved ones, reading you a book or two and chilling and relaxing and getting on the same page with other people that like to read. And you ain't, and man, when you read, stop acting like you are. Don't speak to a person from a standpoint of condescension. You have to understand that everybody has a different perspective on life, and your perspective may not be the right way. It might just be your way. Hey, man, you already know what it is. You already know what it ain't. This is your boy Warren G, the place to be. Been clown sucker free since 2003. You already know what it is. I'm busy. I hope y'all busy. Listen to me while you're at the core plantation. Understand exactly what life is about. 2 roads diverge in the Yellow Woods. I took the one less traveled. Understand exactly what road you are taking. And remember, it's your path, not nobody else. And let me tell you, for all you black folk at the core plantation, that is not your path. And don't let these people have you thinking that you got some type of longevity future where you're going to move up this fictitious Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Stop. That's falsified advertisement, and it's a false narrative that they're giving you to keep you coming for more Hansel and Gretel crumbs. Hey, man, I appreciate everybody out there. Hey, love, live life. Spread the positivities of what life brings. Melanated people, get out there in the sun, even though it's cold, and get you some fucking real vitamin D in your life. Not no goddamn cow's milk. Get you some vitamin D. Understand exactly what this so-called scamdemic and plandemic is about. Get around people that have solutions, not problems. If you're around people that got a bunch of problems, then y'all just a bunch of dumb niggas talking about a bunch of problems. Get around black folks that have solutions and not problems. Because problems are like assholes. We all got them. We need solutions. And that's what should be your thing. And your solution is not in the King James version of Cesare Borgia. Understand that. Hey, man, if you're around a nigga that's on some, I'm going, you know what I'm saying? Hey, man, if you doing that, man, I'm going to have to tell him what's going on. That's a sample ass nigga, guilty nigga, and I don't fuck with you. I'm out. Peace.